Hey guys, what's up? It's Schla coming back to ya with another episode of Car Rides with Schla. And today I forgot to charge my recording phone, but we're at 18%, so we should make it. I have the brightness on the lowest. We should be in good hands. But hopefully we don't have any issues with that, because 18 is not bad. We're still dealing with some juice there. My watch did not properly track when I slept last night, and so that's pretty aggravating, although I'm trying to learn to just be okay with it. I already got kind of mad about it, but honestly, not as mad as usual, and then I'm trying to move past it, because the sleep tracking is something I'm really into. I study it to see where I'm at, and yeah, I mean, this is just something I'm really into, and so it's pretty upsetting when it just doesn't work properly for a night. I'm really annoyed because what ends up happening is I want to lay down, and then sometimes I'll lay down and then it won't track my sleep properly, because it'll basically it says that I'm asleep when I'm not. And so I don't like that. And then, yeah, I don't know if I can adjust. I probably should adjust No, the way it is fine, actually. Yeah, because I actually have it set to be... Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why it's doing that, because the whole time I did it, I thought it always tracked it properly. Although I guess there was a period of time I didn't really care that much. But, I mean, the whole point is my streak isn't lost. It's just going to look weird. And what I did... Sorry I didn't finish explaining this. I'm bouncing around to a bunch of different topics. I took it off my wrist because I wanted to lay down, but I didn't want to sleep. And when I leave it on the wrist, it will do that. It will, It's done that before, where it says I'm asleep, and I was like, I know for a fact I was not asleep then. I was just laying down. So I took it off the wrist, and I'm assuming then when I put it back on the wrist to sleep, it wasn't able to recognize fast enough or something, because maybe it had to start recollecting info or something. I don't really know. That's really my only guess, unless it was just a weird coincidence or something, which that's fair too. I mean, I don't know. But I'm kind of, I don't know, I'm upset, but at the same time, at this point, I'm trying not to be. Hiccup. Wow. Weird. The other thing, too, is I feel like we had a bit of depression this morning. I wasn't jumping out of bed as usual. And it's something I've talked about. I kind of pride myself on... I get out of bed, pretty quick when I wake up. And I think the past 2 days have not been like that. There's been a little bit of depression upon waking. So I know I was just saying that, I've been really good. I've been waking up. I've been happy to get up. Yeah, so the past 2 days that has ended, and it's a shame. And I'm honestly hopeful that I will get back to that soon. Let's get there. That's kind of how I'm thinking. want to. Yeah, I don't know, because it's good. I mean, it feels good to wake up and really want to get up. And I guess it's just, I don't know, but it's also so easy, obviously, for humans to just slump back into it. And then it also didn't track my sleep afterwards. Like, I woke up earlier than usual, and then I didn't get up, I went back to sleep, and then the watch just completely didn't track, like, an additional hour and a half of sleep. I don't understand how it's been, like, so spotty with the sleep tracking, because it was never like that before. So I just think it's very odd. It's very odd, and I'm kind of frustrated with it, but like I said, I guess I'm trying to just get used to it doesn't really matter, you know? I guess I've been doing experimentation with my sleep, and I want to make sure I'm still able to get good quality. But I mean, here's the thing. I'm actually feeling pretty good right now. Like, there's been some mornings where I'm not, like, I'm feeling bad. So I think I'd still got good sleep, even though it didn't track it, so it doesn't look like I did. I feel pretty good. I do feel pretty good this morning. Definitely better than some other mornings, so it's kind of like, I don't really know. And I wish I would have just got up when I woke up. That's truly what I wish. And I've been trying to run that I would have underslept by about at least an hour. Like I said, when I slept an hour and a half, it brought me, like, right to my usual time. But if I would just woke up early, I kind of wish I would have done that. And it's Thursday, so I'm thinking, like, Thursday is a pretty good day to experiment, because it's near the weekend. But then I was kind of like, well, it's not Friday. Like, if it happens tomorrow, then I might be more apt to do that, and so, yeah, it's all stuff I'm thinking about and I'm trying to figure out. And yeah, we're still running at 18%. I honestly think the brightness makes, like, a huge difference with this phone. It's a 7 Plus that I used to record the mic. It's not recording the mic. It's what I plug the mic into to record. And I don't know, the battery seems, like, pretty weird. Like, it drains, like, a lot if the brightness is up high. It really drains significantly. But if it's low, it seems like it has pretty good battery life. I don't know. And the screen's not even that bright, so I know with OLED it's probably more efficient, right? Because you only partially have to light up pixels. I'd have to assume. But even a lot of iPhones that I just feel like they made bright, the lighting backlight is probably just a lot more efficient, because the 7 Plus isn't even that bright compared to some of the newer screens, and I still don't think you get as bad battery drain. I really miss the days when, like, so much tech stuff was really interesting and exciting, when the new stuff would come out, and a lot of people were into, and they still do, benchmarks and tests and things like that, but we're honestly past the point where it's all that interesting. A lot of flagship phones now are just kind of peak, and then the subsequent successor is just like, it's a little bit faster, but it's hardly noticeable year on year. We're kind of past any of these, like, dramatic speed changes or performance things or anything like that. And I don't know. I mean, I really think tech was just more enjoyable back when it was slower. It's really weird because I have that OCD about chasing speed and like needing and wanting newer technology because it's faster, because I want to interface with it faster. And I'm happy because like when I got the 16 Pro, I notice it all the time, and I'm like super grateful for it. I wish I would have done it sooner because I really take advantage of that extra speed and responsiveness. But we know most people don't. Like a lot of people just don't really notice things that much. Their brain, like current CPUs may already be at where their brain is at, just in terms of how much they process or how much they would want to process. So it's something to like take note of or to keep in mind. I don't know. It's just, I mean, it is what it is, but yeah, I'm not sure, you know? So yeah, where was I getting at with that? It's tricky for me because in one way, I think I can really take advantage of faster tech more than other people, but it's sad because of what tech has become. It's really scary, and I talk about it a lot, and I just don't think people notice or they really have much memory of what technology was and what it is now. I mean, it's so strange and detrimental and just like not a good situation. It warrants some kind of concern. You know, it really warrants that. And it's not getting it because people are just sucked up into it. But really, I mean, people really used to actively do and enjoy things. Like there was an enjoyment to technology. People loved to interface with it. It was a normal thing to be happy with the stuff. And with TikTok and what it's done to people is it's really eliminated so many people's just ability to like function normally. And it's not noticeable because everybody's doing it, but it's nonetheless just as relevant, you know, and it's a legitimate problem. And it's very isolating for me because I see it in people, and when I try to call it out, it doesn't matter. And then, you know, I'm the bad guy. But I remember so many people used to be sharper, they used to be happier, and things changed. You know, when the short form content came in, I mean, people just kind of became less caring, more dismissive of things because they're so used to just this rapid influx of like imagery and visuals and interesting things. And then when you go from that to just a regular old conversation, people can't be bothered. People don't care about figuring out their emotions or trying to solve disagreements and the amount of patience that all of that stuff takes. It's a future where, and I've said this before, we're all going to have to communicate through AI. AI will have to translate all of our vocabulary into forms that each of us can want and handle. And it's pretty shocking. You know, I don't know how much I like that, but wow. think for a lot of people it'll be eye-opening, though, because the brain chip in their head will just be able to explain how they feel without any effort. And I do think a lot of progress is going to be made once we get to that point. Because it is true. It's like humans are not good at comprehending their feelings, and there's so much that goes on that's very just so ego, it's so much about people's ego, and like you call them out for something and they just get offended, and then they slap back something to you. Like, there's no time for that in a serious discussion. If you do something wrong, you have to admit to it, and that's just not something a lot of people tend to do. And AI could fix it, because you wouldn't be able to manipulate or hide how you're feeling. It would just be there. The AI would just put it out. And so a lot of these people would be forced to be accountable and have to contend with things. To see people's thoughts is going to be a very revealing thing, especially in an argument live. You're going to see what a person's intentions are. And it's going to be very eye-opening. And there's a lot of people who I think need to be a little more prepared for what's coming. Because if you don't start changing now and thinking about that, pretend that your thoughts are getting broadcasted. Because that's how it's going to be. There's not going to be privacy when you're interacting with someone. They're going to know what you're thinking. They're going to know what the truth is. And that's the kind of world we're going to live in, and it's probably going to tear people apart, tear relationships apart, all that stuff. Although the strongest will survive. The strongest will survive. The people who are good people and honest anyway, they'll make it. So it's important stuff to bear in mind. It's very just important things to bring up and bear in mind. But it's an isolating path that I'm on, man, and I always think about that, because I guess I never felt good about myself, and I'm realizing now that compared to averages, I'm doing very good. For someone my age at least. And I guess it's kind of surprising to me, because I don't know, I just never thought I was really all that, especially during school and stuff, but at this point I am. Like, I'm definitely, given my situation, I'm just doing well, And I think it's good to acknowledge that and relax at least a little bit, because my whole life I've just, I don't know, been worried, and that's kind of pushed me. So that's actually been a relatively good thing. But I think it's okay. I think you have to have a ceiling. Everybody has a ceiling. That's what I meant to say. Not, you have to have a ceiling. It's just everybody does. And you can't. There's only so far you can push, and I know what my goals are, and I'm hoping in time. I mean, the main thing is weightlifting. Like, I really have to come to terms with that, because it's just something I've never been into. I've always been very lazy and resistant to. Like I said, running, that's no problem. I could, if I had like the time to, I could run every single day if I wanted to. And it just doesn't really faze me that much. Like it's just very easy for me to tolerate running or other aerobic exercise. It's lifting that is the difficult thing for me. And it's, I mean, a lot of it's probably mental, you know? And so I really hope that I can get a grip on that. And it's a shame because I'm already not that young anymore, and it really would have been better. Like, I was going to be getting into it, but I just never kept up with it. And it's a shame because I didn't even have a job, and it's just like I really could have been on that, and I just wasn't, you know. But well, you know, the past is the past, and I really just have to do what I can now. You know, that's really the main thing. I have the foundation, diet sufficient in protein, and over the course of time, I'm hoping to get back into it. Now, I've been doing, I mean, I say I'm lifting, but I really don't even consider it lifting. It's like I barely really do anything, you know, like I just have dumbbells and I just like lift them, but I'm not really able to do that much at the moment. You know, I'm just trying to get started somewhere. But this past week, I skipped it because my elbow's been hurting me. I think it's because of what I do at work. So I'm not really sure, even like this week, and it's just frustrating, you know. But like I said, I'm aware of where I'm not sufficient, and I'm working towards it, you know. And I think that's a good and valuable thing. But to continue to beat myself up, like I think we're past that, and that's not really, I mean, I guess it works, but I don't think that's really the way to, that's not ideal. I think, you know, self-care is a good thing. Acknowledgement. It's a very good thing. Being gentle on yourself. Maybe pushing yourself when you need to, but also being able to nurture yourself to a good situation, you know? I think there has to be a balance. It's like you have to, within yourself, have both a mother and a father nurturing you in the different manifestations of those two archetypes. I think everybody needs that. And I assume a lot of people may only have one. You know, they either have an internal father who is hard on them, pushing them, or they have an internal mother who is nurturing to the self. But either of these are incomplete. They're not good on their own. Both have to be used in conjunction in order for the human to reach its highest potential. I had a dream last night, and I was going to jot it down, but I didn't want to go on my phone, and now I forgot what the dream was. So that's kind of annoying because I thought it was actually like a pretty relevant dream, and now it's just forgotten. It's lost media. And now it's just lost media. I don't know. But it didn't need to be. It did not need to be lost to media. Don't remember. It was something to do with shoes. I think it was this dream about people, like everybody having their own interest, and had something to do with how some people like to buy shoes, and that was just like their hobby or something along those lines. But that's obviously leaving out a lot because there were, multiple people in the dream and things like that. But yeah, I think a lot of this stuff I'm trying to get to a better point of an inner peace, and I think we're getting there. I think day by day we're making some type of progress. I actually need to work on caring less about other people. I get myself into situations where I have to do all the caring, and then it just ends up being a cycle where I'm the only one doing any of the caring. People abuse my patience and my giving nature that I have. See, I was saying I was all doing good earlier, but now I'm starting to feel a little tired. It's not a good sign, I guess. It means I should sleep more, but I really don't. I don't like sleeping. But I take it as seriously as I can, in terms of I don't know. Take it as seriously as I can. I like I said, I really have this super laser focused bedtime. I fall asleep with only 10 to 20 minute variation, I think. So it's just very good. It's a very good situation. It's hard though. It's been a little bit tricky, and like I said, I'm a little disappointed. I need, because the problem is if I lay down too early, then I just end up falling asleep too early, and that's not what I want, because I want to have a specific bedtime. So I have to try to have a nighttime routine, and I don't. And then that's really the problem, because like last night, I really just wanted to lay down, and it took a lot of energy to try not to sleep. Sorry, I'm just like, I don't know. This is a very strange situation. The person in front of me is driving very slowly. It is a truck, but still, I mean, usually they don't drive like that, so it caused me to have to put on my brakes like a lot more than I ever do. I mean, some of these drives I barely even press the brake pedal. You know? Which is how everybody should drive. I think I've already explained that. You should drive in a way that you really don't have to use the brake. Like, if we lived in a perfect world, that's how everybody would drive. You would just let the car stop. You wouldn't brake, like, unless you had to as a emergency, you know. And when you would get to a red light, you would let the car stop as naturally as possible. The world would be such a peaceful and safe place, you know, but instead people just want to drive crazy. And even the average, you know, the average driving that people do, it tends to be a little bit crazy. And it's just crazy. I'm going to keep saying that word over and over again. Sorry I kind of trailed off. I thought I was kind of killing it this episode, but now I'm kind of not. But there was some negativity again, so I still think I'm figuring that out, because I have to be able to, you know, just put out positive energy. Like me talking about how people drive recklessly or things like that. That's, I guess I have to say, people drive great. People drive really good. I don't know, it seems like it to me. People drive great. I love the way people drive. It's so nice, kind, and patient, you know. That's the stuff that really twists people's heads. And that's why I'm saying it's more of a special thing to be positive, for sure. It takes so much effort. Especially for most people. I mean, most people don't even understand what you're talking about. Like, if I told people, oh yeah, people are great drivers, people would be like, what? They'd be like, what? What are you talking about? And I just be like, people are great drivers. We hit the 10% and we're actually down to 7% battery. But again, like I said, things should work out. So, you know, we should still be in good shape. I don't know. Pretty good timing and situation and stuff like that. I think so, at least. And I'm hoping that we can make this, because this is that light I don't like, but I think we're good. Just so tricky. Everything's so tricky. Yo. Oh, no. Man, everything is just so confusing, dude. I don't understand. Some of these lights, I don't know. Yeah, but you think how crazy people would think I am if I was just like, yeah, I think people are great drivers. Because really, that's true, though. If you think about it. It's actually completely true that people are great drivers. There's not there's not really evidence that people are uniquely bad drivers. I mean, accidents are rare. So I know people would be like, dude, what are you talking about? Accidents happen all the time. Okay, accidents, they don't happen all the time. Like, they don't really happen that often in the grand scheme of things. I mean, if you think about the amount of people who drive on a road every single day and the amount of accidents there are, it's probably, I don't even think it's 0.5%. I mean, it's low, you know. There's not really, they don't really happen that much. So I'm just not gonna be, yeah, I shouldn't be stressing. I mean, people are great drivers, right? It's kind of, I think, the mindset to have now. I'm glad this thing didn't die, but I really got to start to operate like that a little bit more. Calmer and just accepting the positive truth that is true, you know? Whoa. We're actually making alright time today, but I kind of knew I would. So we know kind of when we need to leave now because, you know, this is just what it's gonna take. Very good. Everything looks good. All right. Let's see where we're looking at. Yep, looks very good. And it's Thursday, so it's not so bad, really, is it? We're almost through it. And then it's time for an enjoyable break. An enjoyable week, well, hopefully a weekend that is hopefully enjoyable. No. A weekend that is enjoyable. A great weekend. Then it will be time for a great weekend. I'm just so happy that people are so good at driving. It really makes me feel better to know how good American drivers are. And how good this world is. I mean, wow, is it a good time? Is it a good place? It's just such a good place. Like, I can't believe this planet. This planet is just amazing. This planet is just amazing. And on that note, it's been Schla, but now it's time to buy Schla. So, see you, Schla.